Now let me take the IP address. This is similar way I launch the AWS Linux, and here this time I'm not going to use EC2 PEM key. Like I'm not using any key based authentication because I set a password for EC2 user. Like how you are setting a password for any user, switch to root user and set a password for EC2 user. Now it is asking, so this is also you have to do it, and if you are not able to do, let me know. Okay, now I'm giving a password for EC2 user. Let's see. Okay, I gave wrong password, so it is saying, yep. So no, I don't want to save. Now I'm into the EC2 user. Okay, and let's continue our session. So last class we created here we added a user to EC2 user to Gamya group and Gamya to EC2 user, right? To verify that, you can see EC2 user. Okay, so now EC2 user is part of a Gamya group. Okay, now what I'm going to do is let's see what we can do. Let me log into the Gamya as well. Okay, as a new user, new session, SSH, and I hope so. I have hopes. Now let's copy this. And this is for Gamya or Shiva. Let's use password. Okay, I don't want to save my passwords. Control L to clear this screen, and LL we have file. Now with the user Gamya, I'm going to create one file. Okay, or else let me create one file where touch where I want to create under etc temp. Okay, sorry, under temp, not etc /tmp. Okay, and my file name is permission txt. Okay, let me go and see what files we have in that file. ls-l, I'm going to temp, and here we have permission.txt. okay, now let me add some content to this file. Okay, to add that you can use vi or whatever. Okay, vi /tmp permission.txt. now I'm going to write some content here. This is this file created by Gamya user and testing the permissions. Okay, whatever. Let's save and come out of this. So let me do cat to view this file. As a Gamya user, I'm able to view, and if I go to EC2 user, everyone has access to temp file, right? It is full permissions, and group members and other members can able to read that file. So let's do that. Okay, cat what is the file, where it is /tmp and then permission.txt. now I'm able to view this file, and as a EC2 user I want to edit this file. Let's see if I'm able to edit this file. tmp permissions.txt, and I got the prompt, and I'm going to insert, and you are getting this warning, changing a read-only file. Okay, so which means your changes will not affect. Okay, you don't have a permissions for reading. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, escape, save and quit. even I'm not able to save it. So in this case you have to quit. Sometimes you will get this kind of errors, you have to do force quit. Okay, for that you have to give this symbol and then enter. Okay, this is the one way to get out of that edit mode. Now if I do id of EC2 user, now he is part of Gamma. Now let's give permissions to this file. Okay, let's give permissions to this file. So this is Gamma, right? Chmod, change permissions. I will give 777 and then I will tell you what is that mean. What is the file permissions? Not here, where that file is there, under tmp permissions. Okay, now if you verify this ls.temp, now you can see everyone can read, write, execute. Everyone can read, write, execute. What I did, I changed the permissions with the chmod, change modifications, and what is this 777 we need to understand now, and then file name. Now if I able to edit this file, let's do vi. Now you are not going to get any error. Okay, this line edited by EC2 user. Okay, so escape, save and quit, continue. Escape, save and quit. So cannot open your overwriting. So sometimes you may get this kind of errors at this time. So save and quit forcefully. What happened? Okay, escape, save, quit. So press enter to enter or type a command to continue. I don't want to continue. I don't want to do this. Whether it is overwritten? No. Why it is giving this error? So let me do force quit first. Let me see. Even it is giving this colon q a hyphen. Okay, so let me see whether okay, then let's edit this with the vi permissions and then go to insert mode. Then this line is from EC2 user. Escape, save and quit. Still same error. Okay, let me quit forcefully. To do that, q, small q and small a, and then this mark. Let me check the permissions. Okay, we have to check the permissions for that, right? ls-la slash, and here temp has read, write, execute and everyone. So if I go to slash tmp and if I do ll, and everyone has full permissions for this file, and this owner is the Gamma, group member, primary group member is the Gamma, and if I read this I can able to, but if I write, I should write vi permissions because I'm within this folder. That's why I'm giving a relative path. Why it is? Let me remove this anyway. Okay, maybe permissions. Let me remove this. Go to insert mode. I am either writing or removing or write some context, and then escape, save and quit. Permission.txt cannot open file for writing. Please enter. It's okay, but that is the case. We'll test other files also, no issues. Anyway, we are going to learn all permissions classes today. So still problem with this, save without save. Let's force quit. Okay, so we'll test with other pattern. Before that, just giving a heads ups on yesterday class, some more details on group. Okay, so let's see what is mean by group, how to check. So group info, you can see that group info where slash etc group. Okay, so to add a new group, the command is group add. To view the group, to know user belongs to how many groups, you have to give group. And then to modify the group, you can use group mod, and to delete a group, you can use group tail. Okay, groups have a name, every group has their own name, group has a id, numeric id number. Groups belong to one primary group member. Users belongs to one primary group, because every user when created is belongs to only one primary group. If you want to add other as a primary group, the existing group will be become a secondary group. Okay, user can belongs to multiple supplementary groups, so based on the operating system which you are using, depending on, so you can be a group member of 16, group member of 32 groups, group member of 65,535 groups. Okay, depending on the situation. So as a ECT user, I'm searching how many groups I have. Command is groups. Okay, and here I am part of ECT user and Gamya. Okay, if I say same thing, groups, here also, yeah. Okay, if you want to search for a specific user, groups Shiva. Okay, now Shiva is part of only username Shiva, and is part of only his own group. Okay, and if I want to search for Venki, because I have Venki user also, right? Yesterday we created. It is a groups, not group. Okay, now Venki also not part of any other group except his own group. So in this way you can verify. And if you want to add other group, for example, group add sales. Okay, permission denied, you have to use sudo. Okay, now if you check groups, where you can check cat slash etc, so not password for users, now groups group group. Okay, now sales, just now we created Venki, we created yesterday, and Gamya group id is this one, and sales group is starting from after the Venki group, and Gamya group other member is EC2 user. And you can see all these details in details. Let's see details, what is the meaning of each and everything. Okay, so this is how wheel is one of the group which is already predefined in the operating system, and colons, and same pattern. First one denotes the username, second one denotes the encrypted group password. If you want to set a password to the group, you can set it like how we are setting a password to the user. Okay, and then third one is group id, fourth one is group member. Okay, so this is the group id, and how many group members are there. Here only one group member is there, and if you come here, if you see, other group member is EC2 user, other group member is Gamya, and this is a group id, and this is the password encrypted, and then EC2 user likewise. And supplementary groups limit would be depending on the operating system, how many groups you can create. If it is a Open DSB or Mac OS, by default a user can be part of 16 groups. If the Linux kernel is less than 2.6.3, a user can be part of up to 32 groups. Okay, free BSD or like different families these are. So 1024, if it is a Oracle Solaris operating system, 1024. If it is a Windows operating system, a person can be part of group of 1024. If the currently we have a Linux kernel around 2.8 or 2.9, and if your Linux kernel is greater than 2.6.3, the group you can be a part of 65,536. That is more than enough. Okay, even in our corporate network we are not part of like more than 10 groups or 15 groups. Okay, so this is how the limitation of operating system. And let's see how to assign a group. We already did that. Okay, and why we are using -a here. Okay, so please guys practice that, otherwise it will be difficult. For example, I want to add, now I'm seeing id of Shiva. Okay, now I want to add this Shiva to EC2 group. How I can do that? User mod -g. If I had Shiva username to which group? EC2 user. Again permission denied. Sudo. Okay, if I do ID of Shiva. Okay, now not ID of Shiva, because Shiva is added to EC2 user group. We have to check EC2 user group. Okay, so where is EC2 user group? Here, right? So Gamya is there. Now Shiva need to be here. Okay, you can check in this way, or else you can give ID of EC2 user. Now Shiva also added, but where is Gamya? Gamya is overridden. That is the problem. If you give user mod -g, to overcome that, you have to give user mod -a-g, so it will append. Okay, so this time I will give Gamya. So that is the problem. Only if you give -g, it will add other group member, but all existing group members will be lost. That is the very danger. Okay, so if I use ID of EC2 user, now you can see Shiva also exists and Gamya also exists. And for the EC2 user groups 1000, EC2 user is the member, Shiva is also a member, Gamya is also a member. Okay, in this way you can add the person to the group. Okay, and you can practice this. This is a simple screenshot to set a group password. Okay, G password. Normally sudo password means user password. Normally if you give sudo G password means group password. Okay, and sudo G password -a append -d delete a group, -a add a group. Okay, and likewise. So I'm not going to cover everything, it will take time. So for example, if you have a hackers group, accounts group, and if you want to add a person, sales, accounts and hackers, all these groups to Shiva, you can do that. Okay, at a time adding multiple groups. Okay, so verify that command with groups. Okay, so if you are doing a group modification that user already logged in, then the user need to log off and log in to see the changes. Sometimes just now we see there are changes happen on the Shiva and Gamya as well, but we logged in. Some cases you may not see the changes. You run commands perfect, but sometimes you may not see the changes. At that time, please log out from the system and re-log in, so that it will reflect the changes. Okay, so for example, elevate group privileges. So what is meant by, like, how to add a privilege, like how to add, how to delete. So for example, create a group, sudo group, just now we created. Set password. For example, let me set a password to the group. Okay, so which group we created? Sales, right? So what is the command to set a password? So we added a group called sales, and I want to add password to the this one. Okay, anyway you have to add anyway you have to run the sudo permissions. So what is the command? G password. I'm just giving the tab. And what is the group name? You want to set a password for the sales. Now set the password. I'm giving same name, sales, otherwise I will forget. So I given a password for the sales. Okay, now I want to switch a person. For example, Shiva is there. Shiva default permission is what? For example, let me log in, or else let's switch to, let's check Gamya. So Gamya and then ID of Gamya. Anyway, I logged into the Gamya, that's why I'm using it. And primary group ID Gamya. Okay, I want to change this primary group ID Gamya to sales. So to do that, how can I achieve that? Okay, so the command is new group. Okay, new group, and what is the group? Sales. So you have to enter. Sometimes it won't pop up for tab. New group sales. Okay, and then enter, and then password. It is prompting for password because we set a password, right, for security reason. So if there is no password, it will set up. Okay, and password is set for EC2 user. Sorry guys, now because this user is mandatory. If you see LL, sorry, EC2 user don't have any files because yeah, this is a new operating system, right? EC2, so the primary group member sales is assigned to the EC2 user. Okay, so let me show you. Let me verify that with the groups. Yeah, sales is there. Sales is the primary group now, and EC2 user is the secondary group, and Gamya is the third group. So to know how to you can know, now let's create a file called touch test dot txt or whatever, and then if you run this, now you can see user is EC2 user and the group is sales, but what we have to see as actually user is Gamya and group member is also Gamya. Here what we are expecting, user is EC2 user and also group member should be EC2 user, but we changed with the command new group, so that the primary group will be changed to other, but every user have only single primary group. No user can have multiple primary groups. Okay na? So remember that. Okay, so we verified that, and yep, that's it guys for group. And let's see what else we have.
Sure bro, in that case,
Okay,
if we are going to be used one more group, suppose we can name it as Hyderabad, which is using the command new group. So what will be the primary group will be picking?
it is going to override the existing group, and then
okay,
it will
so that
override
means
the
whenever
you are using new group with the group name, then it will be the primary group. That's it. Remaining groups are secondary, third, fourth, likewise.
Okay, fine. I was created a group and it has been overridden, but I wanted the previously created group as a primary. So
Then
if there is any command again.
same command you have to. For example, again I want to switch back to EC2 user because now I am using sales and I want to switch back to EC2 user. So simply you can give same command with EC2 user. That's it. New group EC2 user, and this time it won't ask password because EC2 user group don't have a password.
Okay.
Yeah, it is simply switched without asking a password. And if you create a file, one more file, touch notes.txt, and if you verify this, so earlier text.txt is the primary group is sales. Now that notes.txt primary group is the EC2 user, likewise.
Okay, so in real time, how it was going to be helped by creating the different groups for the different files?
Yeah, actually we give permissions to group, not users. Okay, maybe for example in your team, so everywhere in real time, that's why we are mostly focusing on the groups permissions. Okay, so let me explain. For example, in your team there are 20 members, 10 members example, so 10 members should have some same permissions, right, because all are your team members. So instead of giving each and every single permission for each and individuals, so they will create one group, like for example test engineers or manual or automatic whatever test engineers. So every test engineer should have some execution rights, read rights, write permissions, everything. So we'll give the permissions to the group, not the users. So once we have required permissions to the group, we will add the users to that particular group. When he is leaving, we will remove that group person to this group. This is way it will work.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Thank you for your question. Yep. And let's continue. Yeah, without a password. Now switch to without asking a password. You can use this one, So all these are like step by step we already verified. You can go through the document also, and if you let me know if you want to add anything. And one more thing, like if I want to switch to EC2 user, for example, you can see, right, we created a user, and then we are able to switch it. For example, if I want to switch it to root user, what I'm doing, sudo su, I'm able to switch to root EC2 user to root user. And I created one more user Gamya, and I want to switch to root user as a Gamya. Okay, sudo Gamya. Now it is asking for sudo password for Gamya. Okay, so what is the password for Gamya? So I just give same name for security reasons. Okay, now it is not switching after giving a password, because it is password based authentication, and it is after that Gamya is not in the sudo files. So because Gamya can run any commands individually, but she is not able to run sudo based authentication file. For example, sudo, for example, let use m install tree. So it is asking password for Gamya, because every time if you give sudo, it will ask for password. And again it is saying Gamya is not in the sudo file. So this is the issue you are going to face when you create a user and add a password, but you are not able to get the super user permissions when you want to require, because sometimes we have to switch, right? If you want to create a group, if you want to create a user, we need to add a sudo permissions. So this is problem. To overcome this kind of problems, we have to edit sudo file where it is. So simply you can do /etc sudo res sudo file, and add user entry to update the sudo file. Okay, so you can see this kind of, like I added root user, Shiva user. Now I'm going to add Gamya, so I'm going to give all sudo permissions so that he can execute sudo based authenticated commands. Okay, optionally we can update repository with the sudo dnf update, because sometimes the changes will not affect for, like we are after the SSHD access, we used to restart the services, right? So same case, sometimes it may automatically refresh itself. Sometimes if not refreshing, you have to do sudo dnf update. Okay, so this is kind of a repository update. So let's add Gamya to sudo file. Okay, for that /etc I have to go to that path. Let's see how it is gonna work. Now I'm in Gamya. As a Gamya, can I edit that file? What is that file? vi /etc, sorry, /etc. What is that file? Sudo er. So it is saying permission denied, so you can't achieve this. And also you can't able to switch to EC2 user because you are a new user. Okay, again if I asking Gamya, so in this case with the Gamya username you can't do anything, so you have to go to other user or switch to other EC2 user, switch to root user, then run that command here. We are already in the root permission, so no need of sudo. Okay, /etc sudo ers. Yeah, so this is the file, and if you see here, already root and Shiva is there. So come down, and just I will do what I'm going to do. If an add, even this is also saying read only permissions, but we can edit it. Okay, I'm just going to copy this and then right click to paste, and then I will edit the name. Okay, but make sure it is case sensitive. We have to give proper name. Okay, save and quit. So escape, save and quit forcefully, and then one more time check whether user is there. User is there, but it is not highlighted either. Let me check. Gamya, that is the name. GAMYA, and we gave everything is same. Okay, let's find, let's check that. Just quit and let me run that command. Now you are able to switch to Gamya to root user. So this is the one of the interview question you may face it. Okay, so the file is to edit or enter a entry of user in a sudo's file. Okay, so that is one thing. Yeah, and also we tested this temp is not worked properly, so I'm ignoring. So as a group membership, so let's go and switch to here grahit user. So this is a previous batch template, guys, but just take the names and check that. Now we are going to learn permissions, how to change directory permissions. And just now I run the command, right, chmod, to change the permissions. So what is 777, what is other numbers, how many ways we can change the permissions to a directory or file, we'll see. Okay, owner can read that to a directory but not others. For example, if you see like under home grahit user, the home like yesterday example, yesterday what happened, we created a file, okay, under, let me recall that. Yep, so ll cd here where we created, so not in root user, let me exit from root user and then ll readme.txt. Yeah, readme.txt yesterday file only. And as a ECT user, let me exit from and then control L ll. Okay, so what happened here is readme.txt, others can read it. Okay, but what problem here, what happened is ls-l/home. See, for Gamya group members can't do anything. That is the situation, because only owner of the file can read, write, execute, not others can do anything on the home directory of any one of the user. That is the problem. And if you give read write permissions to group members, then Shiva is ECT user can able to do that, but Shiva is not able to do that because Shiva is not member of Gamya. Okay, to achieve this kind of things, you already seen permission denied to enter into the as a grahit user. If you want to enter into the ECT user, Shiva user, then permission is denied, like that. Okay, root user don't have any restrictions, so he can go to any user's home directory with full permissions. We already know it, and he can create a file in any user directory anywhere. Okay, now file permissions. Permission can be set on any file or directory by using two methods. One is symbolic method, UGO, U for user, G for group, O for other. Okay, and other one is absolute method, which is we use numbers like 111, 777, so 462. So what is that, some numbers? So you can use any one of the method. It is up to you. You are convenient. No one will ask you have to, it is mandatory to use absolute method, it is mandatory to use symbolic method. No one will tell you that. Okay, it is depending on your convenient. Now if you want to use symbolic method, the command is chmod. Just now at the layer of this class we used chmod. So to whom you want to change, and if you give place, which means you are adding a permission, minus it is going to remove a permission, equal to means which file. Okay, and permission of a file, to whom, and permission levels, users, owners, groups, others. Example, if I give chmod u equal to read, write, execute, means user, group equal to read and write. Okay, let's see. And O means other, file name. Okay, let's see this in practically with the symbolic method. Okay, so for that let me switch to this, and as a ECT user I can't run that command. What is that command? chmod, sorry, not chmod, and I want to change permissions to this Gamya folder. So root user, other group user need to read and write. just I want to give for group G equal to what I want to give, read and write. Sorry, read or W for write. What is the file? So I want to give a file where it is under slash home slash gamya. So operation not permitted, changing the permissions again. So control A sudo. Now if I do ls-la home, now see the others can read and write. Now if I want to read that file, I can able to read it, right? Last class yesterday I'm not able to read cat where it is gamya cat slash home gamya and the file name is readme.txt. So permissions are applied but still not able to, because maybe these are not replicated. Okay, let me check one more time. Let me check the file ll readme.txt. Here let's give write permissions to. Actually read permissions are enough for reading a user. Let me see whether who is a member of. So EC2 user also a member of this gamya group. Okay, and gamya group is there, and so still not affecting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to exit and relogin and retry. Okay, so log out or log off, whatever you can check different commands. Log out or exit should work. Even exit also not working here. Yeah, after a couple of times. Or for re-login as a EC2 user, and password is this one, and I don't want to save it. And if I do ll and if I want to go to cd slash home slash gamya, hey, why it need to is you have full permissions, right? ls-l hyphen slash home. So the group member can read and write, which means he can enter, EC2 user can enter. Okay, ID of gamya. So he is the root user, EC2 user. Why he not able to enter into this system? Strange. Okay, let me add sudo user mod hyphen g and user is Shiva and group is gamya. If I do ID of gamya, now Shiva is part of this one, and as a Shiva, let me try to log in as a Shiva and let me try to enter. So this is the way you have to test, guys. Okay, sometimes it may not work. So these kind of issues will be resolved after restarting your server. Okay, so due to cache memory, it won't reflect. But I don't want to restart the server right now, so I'm testing with other user because this user is not active, right? And that's why ls-l slash home and ID of gamya, and if I as a slash home and hey, why it is saying that? Let me update this DNF update. Okay, sure. Sudo Shiva So still it is strange, guys. Okay. So
Shiva bro, if you see here under the users, I mean under the whole slash home, we had the permissions for only Gamya, but not for EC2.
1 second. So here we, to enter into the directory, we should have execute permissions, not read write permissions. So
Yes.
yeah, that is the problem here. So I given a read permission and write permission for a directory. Read permission is just viewing a directory. Write permission is to list or to enter into a directory. We should have a execute permission, so that permission is missing here. So I'm gonna add that. So yeah, this is the case. In this way you can learn it. So even what is that command? chmod -g, even it is not running. Okay, let's use our own commands. So as a ECT user, sudo chmod and group equal to read write execute. Okay, then only we are changing the group for permissions of what. So we are want to give permissions for Gamya / home, then Gamya. Okay, if I verify with this command, now Gamya has read write execution for group. And even now if you as a ECT user, you can go into this directory. So the only mistake we did is we did not give write permissions. And if you want to cat readme.txt, you can read it. Okay, so this is the way you can give the permissions with using symbolic method. And if you want to change the user means owner, change the permissions, you can give comma at a time. If you want to add all of them, you can separate them by comma, and O means other, and then file name or folder name, whatever. Okay, and if you want to give some permissions, chmod ugo equal to user can read, group can write, other can execute. Okay, or else ugo read write execute full permissions. Just try, go ahead and try. It is going to give user, group, write, other with full permission, read write execute. Okay, if you want to test it, so just go ahead and test that. For which file we are going to give, so let me exit from Gamya home directory. So let's give test.txt to ugo. One more example. Okay, what is the command? chmod ugo. So which means use everyone can execute, read write execute, or wx, user, group, and other, everyone can execute, read write execute. If I do ll, so now everyone can read write execute. In this way you can change the permissions by using symbolic method, like which means symbols, guys. And absolute method, we can use numbers instead of using symbols. So chmod, same command. So 4 means read, 2 means write, 1 means execute. If I give read write executions, so how it is going to work, let me explain. Yeah, so this absolute method I feel very convenient. So this is for user, this is for group, and this is for other, the number pattern, group, user, group, other. Okay, so if I give 777, 4 plus 2 6, 6 plus 2 7, so 7 means full permissions, which means read write execute. 6 means what is the combination? 6 means read and write permissions, only those are there, right? Okay, and then 1 means execute permission. So you can use 1 means execute, 2 means write, there is no, or like 3 means read and execute, write and execute, and 4 means read and 5 means read and execute, and 6 means read and write, and 7 means read, write, execute. Okay, this is the how, just a simple logic, guys. Okay, so with that you can go into use it. Okay, and you no need to mention user, group or other. So instead of that, it is going to take pattern. First is user, second one is group, other, last one is other. Okay, so let's try that one more time. So chmod, I'm going to remove these permissions. Okay, so what I want to write, user can read, write, execute, group can read and write, which means 6 read and write, and other can only read 4. What is the file? test.txt. and if you see this, see, user can read and execute, group can read and write, other can only read. What we give 764, and earlier it is full permissions, now it is limited permissions. Okay, in this way you can change the permissions to a group or permissions to a file. Please be practice, it is very important. By seeing the file itself, you have to understand, do you have a permissions to this file or not. Okay, just now we changed, here chmod user we are removing a execute permission, group we are adding a write permission, other we are not we are overriding any permissions to write. So in this way also you can give. Okay, absolute method 666, everyone can read and write. Likewise, only owner of the file or directory can only change the permissions, or else root user also change the permissions. Okay, directory permissions, we completed that. Just read, write, execute. So yeah, and now changing the ownership. Okay, now simple command is chown, and the present user, present group number, and primary user, primary group number, and then notepad.txt, whatever. Okay, so chown is the group, and other users not able to change the ownership of a file, only owner of the file can change. chown is the command. Okay, even file owner also not able to change. Even file owner is also not able to change the file, only root user is possible. Okay, let's try that, and we'll stop from only root user can change that file ownership. That is good to know. Even I also forgot that topic. So what is the files here we have? Now I want to change this text.txt owner, ECT user is the owner, right? This is the group. So to even I want to change primary owner to Shiva. How to do that? As a EC2 user, because he is the owner, I'm going to try chown is the command, and I want to share as a primary group, and primary user and primary number, and file name is test.txt. Permission not permitted. As a owner of a file, I am not able to do it, and with sudo, yeah, if I do ll, now earlier it is ECT user is the owner, sales is the group member, now we become a Shiva and here. Okay, now if you want to keep sales as it is, just keep Shiva and sales. Now Shiva is the owner, primary group is the sales. So that is a simple command to change the permissions of a file or directory. Okay, now you have to understand, owner of a file cannot change the permissions, only root user can change the permissions. Yeah, that's it guys. I'm going to stop, it is time up, and please be prepared